Viewer discretion is advised.
But will be completely ignored.
You spend time with your family?
Sure I do.
Good.
Like TV from other dimensions has a somewhat looser feel to it. Yeah, it's got an almost improvisational tone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Asylum. You know me. It's the E to the J, Eric the Joker. Do me that big favor in the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know how it works. You know what I'm looking for. It's good to see you on a Sunday. As always, like, share, subscribe, stay notified. Telegram, Baby Mama, Google Plus, your sister's ass, the Pony Express. And today we got a very special show ready for you. But before we get underway, I got to help take care of the bills. Make sure you also check out the link tree. That's linktree/Off the Top Ropes podcast. This is where you can find everything OTTR. And of course, everywhere you get your podcasts. Also check out our archives and everything else. But folks, we got to also shout out to our brand ambassadors. Don't 10% off with the promo code OTTR Mob. You'll be glad you did. Also, we're getting ready for hoodie and spring season. OTTR Mob, dreamalive.store. And that would be my little hyenas in the background. Check out the Okazi clothing shop, 15% off. They got some good gear. And of course, Habits 365, they got good gear too. And make sure you're ready for that fall season, especially with football already back. Jesus Christ. And of course, check out Swift Energy, 10% off with the promo code OTTR Mob. And ladies and gentlemen, they got great flavors. Don't forget, the boss is in the house, the head of the pod mob. And we also got the merch. That's bonfire.com/store/Off the Top Ropes Network. We got everything involving the pod mob. The Mob Men, Blackheart's Angels, and we got newer additions for the Wrestling Asylum. Check it out. Check it out. But, folks, make sure you show us some love. You know, we can't do this without you. And as you can tell, new logo, new look. I warned you all last week. The chaos was just getting started. And remember, you're not rocking with us or hardcore sports. Something's wrong with you. Now that the bills are out of the way, as you all well aware, not long ago, the good doctor had to step away. So I released her from her commitments. And then I was going to bring back the Madam of the Indies. Shout out to Miss Courtney. She needed to take care of her own business. But, you know, in my quest to find another, I stumbled upon somebody who I know is going to create more anarchy than I have for the last 3 years. Allow me to introduce to you the doctor, the Hugo Strange to my craziness, the one Nekro. Welcome.
I got to say thank you very much for that introduction. I appreciate that very much. Gassing me up over here. To those who have been around long enough, you may possibly remember me. I was a part of the Pod Mob way back when it first began, and I was a big part of that family. I had to take a step back for a few reasons, but now I'm back home. I want to give a big shout out to the big boss man, Mr. Blackheart himself, for reaching out to me and telling me that I still have a place in this family. And it was all love since day one. And I'm so happy to be back. So happy to say hello to everyone that's watching. So happy to say hello to everyone that's in the pod mob. Thank you so much for having me back. All love to everybody. And Mr. J himself, I'm so excited to be here with you, man.
I appreciate that. And breaking news before we get underway. As we all know, the G135 Climax has concluded. It is official. Tanosuke Takeshita has won the G1. You heard it here live first in the Asylum. So shout out to the Alpha, Mr. Tanosuke Takeshita. However, there is one rule that must be followed in this place. No one tries to take my throne. All I ask, keep your eyes out. And today, we debut a segment we want to call Nick's Piss Match of the Week, which is going to be later on in the program.
Get him.
That's right. But, you know, I've waited a long time for what's about to happen. To close out today's festivities, Seth fucking Rollins, you've evaded me a long time. And
There ain't
now
no freaking about it.
you're going to face me. So with that being said, we are going to kick it off here today with the moment, Nick, I still can't believe this went down. Ladies and gentlemen, Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, doesn't just not re-sign with the WWE. He's released. Him and the lovely Scarlett Bordeaux are no longer employed by the WWE. And, I mean, dude, you had him. I mean, look at him as NXT champion. Jesus Christ, yeah, you can make fun of the bald dome, you know, looking like a circumcised dick or whatever, you bastards. But, I mean, come on. You brought him in as the killer we knew. And we're dating back to Lucha Underground.
Rest in peace.
Then you call him to the main roster, and the Walt Disney off of Temu, Vince McMahon, shits the bed. He gets, quote, released, then brought back. He builds a wave of momentum. You screw him out of being on WrestleMania in his hometown. And on top of it, like, are you fucking kidding me? You're having confirmed that guys in the back were telling him to ignore the audience. Are you fucking kidding me right now? First of all, to the fuckers in the back, I got this to say.
You ain't shit.
One more time so that you understand, you motherfuckers.
You ain't shit.
The fact that Hunter, now I need to take the stage for a minute there, Doc, because I want people to understand how pissed this makes me. The mere fact that you had in the palm of your motherfucking hands a gifted wrestler with lucha ties. You can't tell me that you couldn't fix what Vince fucked up. You had a fucking killer. Shit, he was doing GCW Bloodsport. You didn't even have him at WrestleMania in Las Vegas, in his home. And now other companies think this is a fucking work. And it's going to take a shitload of hell for him to fix that. Personally, I think the only way that happens is by hitting the goddamn indies and showing every major company, oh shit, this isn't a work. I mean, he said it on Ariel Arawani's show. Like,
Oh, shucky ducky.
You had Kross as a fucking champion in NXT. Vince, in his infamous bumfuck bullshit wisdom that looked like a monkey tried to fuck a football.
Nada!
I mean, you can see it. There's Roman right there going, this bullshit. The mere fact you dropped the ball. This makes me sit there and ask myself, who else did you fuck up? And then Scarlett. Yes, you used her as an old school valet. I get that. I'm cool with it. You mean to tell me you couldn't put her in the ring a little bit? Mix it up? I mean, shit, go to their time in TNA. I mean, I mean, come on.
I'm offended when people dismiss me as a hater. I don't like that term.
I'm not hating, but I'm going to give you the stage in a minute, Nick. I got to be honest. I didn't see this coming. And then they give him the contract to renew. And they try to lowball and fuck him over. I'm going to give the old man off of Timo this. He would have figured it out. So, Nick, I ask you, and I ask the chat on YouTube, Kick, Twitch, minus the bots. Give me your thoughts, folks. Nick, the floor is yours.
Well, as much as this is going to pain me to say, because at the end of the day, I've always been a huge fan of Triple H. I always believed that he was a great wrestler. I always thought that he always had a great business mind. And for a magnitude of reasons that I'm sure we'll get into at another point and maybe another episode, I'm slowly starting to lose faith in that. I thought that things would be different than when Vince was running the company. And it is to an extent, but in a lot of negative aspects, it is still the same. The idea of making your own gimmick stand out to the crowd, making the crowd back you, like in reality, like making it happen for real, rather than WWE forcing a push on someone like, for example, like Roman Reigns. They were forcing Roman Reigns onto people. Yes, the one tribal chief may have his fans now, but let's be real, for several years, Roman was being pushed down our throats. It's very rare when you get someone like Karrion Kross. Like, I hate to say it as an example because they just faced each other, but it's the same thing with like Sami Zayn. When the crowd really backs you, it seems like the WWE is only willing to push you so far. And I'm not sure if you got a chance to watch the documentary that Kross put out recently. It was a very good documentary. I highly recommend it. Part 2 was very good. They were lowballing him, and they didn't give him a reason why, and he didn't even care about the lowball. He just wanted to know why. And I feel like that's fair. And then by the time that the contract negotiation was up, because they only gave him 24 hours to do it, they were like, we still have no explanation for you. And so I don't blame him at all for not resigning. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, he's complaining about he's not staying in WWE. But he got a re-contract negotiate. No, he just wanted to know why he's seen as worth less when he's being over with the crowd. Something that really sickens me about the whole situation is the viral video that came out of him where he was talking to the fans and stopping, and you even see wrestlers walking by, not acknowledging fans, but he stayed and he gave. Isn't that what wrestling's about? I understand he's a heel, but kayfabe has kind of been dead for a while now, and we're doing If we're willing to do WWE Unreal, you're telling me that Karrion Kross can't sign pictures and stuff for kids outside? That's a little ridiculous. And on top of that, he had such an organic love from the crowd that why did they have Sami Zayn beat him twice? Sami did not need those wins. Sami was not going to be affected by those losses, but you know who was? Karrion fucking Kross. That's how I see it. And the fact that they let him go, horrendous. The fact that they looked us in the eyes after Brock Lesnar came back and the crowd was cheering, "We want Kross," and Triple H, my guy, Triple H, had the gall to turn around to the crowd and go, "You got him. You wanted Brock, you got him." We never wanted Brock. That's another discussion for another day. But that's still the point. They're not listening to us anymore. This isn't like a crazy hijack situation like Kofi Mania anymore. This isn't like Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania anymore. They don't care. And it seems to be, to me, the Karrion Kross thing just shows how the business practices have been going. And again, topics that will be for another time, later date, whatever. But it's just another line of things like the ESPN deal and everything. And the fact that you have to pay $500 and something to maybe over $1,000 just to follow the product. The fact that even cheap seat tickets are going skyrocket. It just shows me that the product is going downhill and they don't care about what the fans think. TKO and WWE only care about how the money goes. That's how I see it.
Well, to play off of that piece, and the boss is right, one of the things that I have noticed since the I agree, since the TKO merger is, not only have tickets gone high, the other issue that I think that I know a lot of fans are getting pissed with is, tickets are going through the roof. It's ridiculous. Now, I know you're going to, maybe not shit on him much, but hey, Mitch from Hardcore Sports, welcome. Our other partner in this merger. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. The other issue, and I have to say this, is simple. When Vince got out, name one in particular individual who did that in 2011 and then when all hell broke loose, stuck it up their ass, left for nearly a decade, and then came out and rocked the place. Who is it?
I don't know. Who?
Well, I know. CM fucking Punk did it. And Matt Cardona is another one. This to me, well, boss, I know you may or may not get pissed. Yep. But I have to steal this for a minute. I think you know where this. Hunter, this one's for you. Shout out to my dog, Uncle Fats, for that one. But how do I want to put it? Look at some of the talent that has been let go with the releases prior to. We had Alina, I know I'm butchering it, Black, a.k.a. Cora Jade. She's gone on to do and is killing it. And hello, giggity goo. And I'll leave it at that. The other thing is, look at Priscilla Kelly. She was great. You brought her in as Gigi. They had their moment with Toxic Attraction, and then that fell off. I mean, the fact of the matter is this. What pisses me off is that he's going and doing what Punk did, and they're trying to fuck him the same way that they fucked Punk. I don't know if Punk sees it. I mean, if he did, I know if Punk saw this, and Nick, you can tell me if I'm wrong, he'd have spoke up in a heartbeat and go, wait a minute, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, yes, he's got a different mindset, but if he would have had a more one-on-one connection and Kross vented that, I think with the relationship that Punk has now, he could have gone to Hunter and said, listen, you might get a resurgence of me back in 2011 if we don't fix this. And I'm guaranteeing you, Bubba Ray said it right. Since this is real as it gets, if I'm Kross, I'm going to stick it up every motherfucker's ass at the WWE. I'm going to go every independent, have a petition, explain what I'm doing, and show up at the WWE offices and say, you motherfucking cocksuckers aren't going to touch me. I want Paul Levesque. I want Nick Khan. And if you even think of fucking around, you will find out who you're messing with. I have over 100,000 plus to 1 million demanding I come back. Demanding that you let me do what I was doing generically, and you tell every one of the bastards in the back that tried to stymie and screw me, because when I come back, every one of them, it's on site. I will verbally eviscerate you, and you're going to cry in the car. So guess what? If I was in his shoes, that's what I would do. Personally, I'm pissed because he finally found, and I get the whole Sammy didn't need it. I think what should have happened, and tell me if I'm wrong, and then we're going to jump into our next topic. Okay. Have Sammy lose the first one to Kross, then have him win the one that Sammy just won as the comeuppance of 1-1. And the reason I say that is this. All right. You have a unique opportunity. Kross gets the one up right out the gate and fucks with Sammy's mind. This one at SummerSlam is where Sammy gets it back. If you don't screw Kross, you could have dragged it out to where you have the rubber match at Survivor Series. And then Kross finally snaps Sammy. And what do? You have Jay come out. You have Jimmy to shake him out of it for that moment. So before we go on to our next topic of the day, I think that's what should have happened. You had an obligation to go a 1-1 to figure out how we can drag this story, because now you're noticing, oh fuck, we could have a CM Punk part 2. And to me,
I gotta say something. I'm sorry, man. I gotta say something. I gotta say something to that. As much as I am a Karrion Kross fan, as much as I like him as a person, as much as I agree that the crowd is behind him, I kind of don't agree with or like the. Maybe this is because I'm a really hardcore CM Punk guy. I don't really like the comparison between the two, mostly because as great as Karrion Kross is, oh no, I mean the moment. I mean the moment in time and what he can do. But it's like when you look back at CM Punk 2011, he was. I would say he's more over than Karrion Kross was even now, but the career he led up to that point was way more impactful. I mean, two Money in the Bank cash-in successes,
right?
The kiss away, like I feel like,
and I get that. I'm not comparing the two careers. What I'm doing,
I mean the impact of the two
audience,
in general. I just mean the impact.
I'm comparing the moments of frustration in 2011, which led for Punk to go. Why?
Okay.
I still don't know why Kross didn't see that, go to Phil and say, I need to do, you'll understand later. I'm just saying there are common parallels, not in terms of career, but in terms of what happened.
I agree. I just don't think that the crowd, as much as everyone loves Kross, I don't think the crowd would be as demanding as they were for 7 years of Punk. And I hate to admit it, maybe it's WWE's editing because they are really good at that. But I haven't heard any "We Want Kross" chants for the last couple live events. Well, not live events, but like SmackDowns and Raw.
It happened on SmackDown Friday night.
They must have muffled my recording because I swear, man, I did not hear it.
They edited it, but I heard it as it was happening. When Sammy was talking with Solo, it was happening.
You sure it wasn't "We Want Brock" like Triple H wants to say?
No, I can tell you, I heard it. But folks, we're going to shift gears now into our next topic of discussion. You know, lately, you know, and Nick, you and I kind of alluded to this briefly. WWE is now openly admitting they're trying to counter program AEW. And before we get underway, you know, for the longest time you had a monopoly. After 2001, you know, they kind of ruled the roost. And then in 2019, Vince McMahon, the Walt Disney off of Temu, got one swift kick in his crotch and kicked those whatever shriveled up grapefruits into his taint. And we all know what happened there. Yes, the last couple of years, AEW has gone through some dark times, and that was pro wrestling God's way of telling Tony Khan, okay, you fucked up with CM Punk. Karma has to play its role. I'm going to play both sides of this. And here's what I mean. First and foremost, for a while when it was just 4 pay-per-views for Tony, he knew strategy-wise using Saturday would be better. And the reason is I'm not interfering on a WWE pay-per-view because a lot of them weren't scheduled around the same time then. I'm not going to potentially conflict with college football. I'm not going to conflict with a potential UFC fight. Welcome, Mets. So there's that. On the flip side, how well did that work out for WCW? To me personally, I don't think that worked. I truly don't. Hold on. I'm going to let Nick say something about this before we continue. Because quite honestly, right now I'm at a loss for words trying to explain where my mindset is, and I want to get composed. So Nick, I'm going to give you the center stage while I figure this out, because to me, this is so frustrating. This is so aggravating. But before I do, I got one thing to say.
Nada!
Nick, go ahead, my friend.
As much as I do, thank you. As much as I do see it as a little petty, and call me a WWE mark if you want. I mean, I kind of am. I literally am marked. I feel like Saturdays in and of itself was a natural progression that needed to happen regardless. Sunday night pay-per-views, especially when I was a kid, it really sucked. You had to beg your mom to spend $50 on a pay-per-view, and then you had to stay up really, really late, and then the next day you were tired at school. So honestly, Saturday was a great natural progression. Whether or not it was Tony Baloney's clown show that initiated that change is up for debate, honestly. Is it petty that they're running show schedules to align with AEW? Sure. But I also feel like it's been kind of petty for a while from the other end as well. So before we get into the WWE side, because let's be real, putting John Cena's final match up against one of AEW's pay-per-views is incredibly petty, because let's be real, as good as AEW is, who is going to miss John Cena's final match? Let's be real. But I feel like AEW has been doing these pot shots at WWE for a while. They scheduled a lot of their pay-per-views in the most recent years around the same time as WWE. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but Tony Baloney over here, he can choose whatever to do. A lot of these pay-per-views that they're aligning themselves with have been pre-established for decades. Like Royal Rumble, you always know it's around February. WrestleMania, it's always either really, really late March or somewhere in April. Like it's always around the same time. Even Elimination Chamber, which is like one of the offshoot, not really cared about as much pay-per-views on the road to WrestleMania. We always know it's between Rumble and Mania. So is it petty what WWE is doing? Absolutely. But is it any different than the pot shots that AEW has been doing since the very beginning? Even with our now, and I know what you're gonna say, because he was an AEW star too, and he was the one who started the whole thing. But I'm gonna say it anyway. Star of WWE, Cody Rhodes, even taking the pot shot.
Nick, I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. You have to understand, when you want to make an impact, no pun intended, to TJ, and you want to really, you've got to go for the jugular. And remember, Cody had a lot of anger and frustration, and rightfully so. We all saw it, blah, blah, blah. I digress. Petty on both sides, sure. But this is now way unacceptable. You are now trying to openly and willingly re-establish a fucking monopoly. And I won't tolerate it. It's not okay. You now have more places for people to learn their and own their craft, not just on the indies. It's not right. Wrestlers are getting paid more. Wrestlers are being able to rehab and recover more from a medical aspect. Yes, sometimes things get missed, human error, whatever. We understand that. My concern is by doing this, you are willingly, openly trying to do the very bullshit that led to the downfall of WCW. And yes, Tony Khan's guilty of it.
Get him.
I'm not going to, give him a pass. Okay? He's not on this one. But to me, for TKO to do that, no, fuck you. Sorry, unacceptable. That's not in my book.
Can I make a counterpoint though to that too? Because you brought up WCW. Let's be real, like 100% real here. WWE, as much as they're owned by TKO, they're never going anywhere. They are forever. I doubt they will ever be in existence without WWE running a weekly program. And as for Tony Baloney's clown show, hear me out. And as for Tony Baloney's clown show, the only way I see that ending is if his dad doesn't want to fund it anymore, or if Tony gets really tired. And he would never sell it to WWE, but he'd sell it to someone else, and then the other person would probably sell it to WWE. But that's besides the point.
I want to counter that in a minute, but finish your point.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of people seem to have forgotten when AEW first started and all the murmurs before they even really had their first show. There was all the murmurs of, we're going to get the wars again. We're going to get the wrestling wars again. We're going to get the wrestling wars again. And then it never really happened, really. Like, we had like the Wednesday night, stuff, and NXT ended up moving and all that fun stuff. Neither brand, neither company is going to go under. They both are solidly financed. So I don't see the WCW train happening. And what I just said a second ago, I don't even think it will really happen. But I'm saying worst case scenario, if one of them is going to go under, that's how I see it happening. But I don't think either of them are going to go anywhere. And to be honest with you, pettiness or not, I love it. I love it. It's like ruthless aggression. They're battling back at each other. it makes the product on both ends way more worth watching, just like it was during the Attitude Era. You were a tribe. You picked your side. You were either WCW or you were WWE, which again, I know, enjoy all wrestling. And I do. I enjoy all wrestling. But I like the idea that the two tribes are fighting each other as competition, because I am the kind of person that believes that competition makes greatness. When your back is against the wall, that's when the best product comes out. And that's how I see it happening, personally.
All right, to counter your 1 point, Tony Khan's father no longer funds AEW.
Oh, good.
It is self-funded now. What do I mean by that? Okay. Yeah.
Are you asking me or?
Hang on. Blackheart's. He's not wrong. This blew up in NXT's face. You are trying to do this again, and it will not end well.
Their main show took over WWE's third show. I mean, let's be real. A Dynamite isn't going to beat a Raw or a SmackDown. Maybe.
Look, you already proved you could beat the third brand. This
That's
is a mistake. Well, now a third brand. This is a mistake with known outcomes. Here's what I'm going to say.
I'll be real. I don't think they would have beat the Black and Gold.
Hang on.
I need your take on that.
Say that again.
I don't think that. So when AEW was going up against NXT directly, I feel as though if it was but do you remember it was the NXT second era? If this was the Black and Gold era, and I know I'm an old man and I'm living in the past, but if this was the Black and Gold era NXT, I don't see it happening.
That's comparing apples to oranges because they were two different times. If AEW would have came around when NXT started hitting its stride and was doing Barclays Center and that shit, I agree it wouldn't happen. Here's the problem now. You are 6 fucking years. Wednesday nights are established. You're fluctuating with Collision because you have to go back and forth because, you know, you got TNT and hockey and NASCAR and shit like that. Basketball has moved back to NBC. Shout out to that. Leave that as it is. You are now in a predicament. WWE and TKO are doing this because they realize AEW is a threat. Whether you want to say that or not, and you can make the face all you want, Nick.
A threat to what, though, exactly?
A threat to the established piece. AEW, remember, go back to the Monday Night War. Because there are some still in the company that were there when it was going on. And if I was a betting man, I guarantee you.
Oh, shucky, ducky, quack, quack.
I guarantee you, because of the shit that went down in that war, you have motherfuckers still in that company to this day that are petty and will do whatever it takes. Exactly. Blackheart is not wrong. It is point blank defiance. The fact that
you're giving AEW too much credit, though, brother. You really are.
I will give this piece, and it's all going to make sense. Vince was getting his ass kicked so bad, he had to turn the volume up to 1,000.
And it was a good product.
And it became great. The issue was WCW didn't, because you had standards and practices. Tony is still a private company. WWE has sponsors, investors, stakeholders, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But to do this, yes, in terms of competition, I will concede to that. But flat out, oh, we want to keep go fuck yourself. No, that's not okay in my book. And the reason I say that's not okay is you will do more harm, not necessarily to the fans, but to talent.
I don't see that. If they're collecting a check, they're collecting a check, brother.
Some of them see it that way. Some of them put their heart and soul. And I will tell you, Matt Cardona has said this. He does not, the tribalism doesn't come from the locker rooms. It's the fans. Even Kevin Nash has said in the Monday Night War, we knew the fans and the tribalism. We just didn't give a fuck. Because it was about entertaining them. It was about having a good time. And it was also about making money too. But it was never about wanting to see the other company go under. Bischoff caused that shit. And it bit him in the ass in the end. And then, you know, the one half of the mutant child trying to, you know, with Dave Meltzer, Vince Russo, but that's another conversation for another day.
Ugh.
I'm going to be honest with you. There is still defiance and pettiness that linger from that Monday Night War. And over the years, when it was just the WWE, you didn't need to worry about that. It became which show was better. Then began the creeping of the Indies and Ring of Honor and New Japan. And Vince wrote that off. He wrote off TNA. Here's what I think happened and what went wrong. He stayed in the old bubble instead of trying to figure out, okay, how can I incorporate this? I think the crossovers that Hunter and the company have created were valid. Smart move from a business aspect because it's giving more people opportunity. It's more places to work, more product. I'm for that. And yes, I will not give Tony a free pass on his pettiness. But look at what caused it. You had fans for years, diehard fans, getting so pissed with what Vince was doing in terms of booking, and some of it became the same old bullshit, that it got to where fans went, we're sick of this. It's when they would go to the Indies and Japan and ROH and TNA and go elsewhere to consume. And then eventually, the kick in the crotch Vince hadn't felt in almost 20 years. Hunter was part of the Monday Night War. So I can guarantee you part of this is defiance and pettiness on his end. My thing is Tony should still have kept Full Gear being the only Sunday night pay-per-view.
Do you mind if I just cut in really fast?
Yeah, and then we're going to go to break here. Go ahead.
At the end of all of this, I don't see the pettiness of them putting pay-per-views even on the same day as really an issue, because we even brought up tribalism, and I know people like to say, "Oh, enjoy wrestling, wrestling," but there still is tribalism.
Somebody just bolted in out of nowhere. I don't believe it.
The commander-in-chief himself
just decided to, make a quick pop in. We don't know what had happened, but
while we figure that out, while he hops in,
finish your thought, Nick, before we take a quick break.
I don't think that the issue in and of itself is the pettiness between the two. I feel like the competition will make them both flourish, even nowadays with a lot of people and a lot of consensus online being just enjoy wrestling regardless of the brand. I still see the tribalism, so people will be choosing to watch WWE if they're a WWE mark. People will be choosing to watch AEW if they're an AEW mark. When it comes to AEW specifically, I feel like their biggest issue shouldn't be trying to be petty with WWE, because WWE will be petty back and they will double down because they can. They need to focus more on roster control because it was fluctuating out of. Had too many people, and a lot of them sat in the back. I forget which wrestler. I think we might have discussed it, but there was a wrestler who works for AEW who had asked them for money for diapers because he hadn't been on a show in over a year. I think they need to worry more about that and the talent that they have jumping ship. And of course, CM Punk is my guy, and that's a prime example. And I feel like showing the video afterwards was a bad look for AEW. But even still, regardless of Punk, Penta, Ray Phoenix, fucking Ricky Starks, all these major names, Cody Rhodes.
No, I get all that.
It's crazy.
I'm not making excuses, and sometimes things get fumbled. But we're gonna leave it there for now, Nick, because it's time to let these folks get their libations.
Absolutely. Oh, but the main point, just the last point in general, is AEW has a lot more things to worry about than petty pay-per-view days. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Agreed. So with that, folks, we're going to cut to commercial. But when we get back, we're going to dive into my analyze this chamber. We're going back to Revolution 2020. We're going to talk about Moxley becoming the second AEW World Champion by making the Ocho, the Nueve.
With one eye. With one eye.
Wink, wink. But wait a second. I just got a message. Is it possible? Could it be? Is he here? Knock, knock. Wait a minute. I think we're going to have to stall that break.
I
guess who's here?
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't want to jump in here. I did not want to jump in here. I just wanted to upload something real quick, and then I was going to get off. But I was going to say, Nick, welcome back. See, this is the perfect formation for y'all, and I'm happy that this is working for y'all. So that's all I wanted to say. And now you guys can go into a commercial break and that type of stuff. So now I've done my part. You know what I'm saying? So
big shout out to the commander.
You heard it from the boss. It's good to have him. But ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. We got to go to break. But make sure you get your morning blunt, your morning libation, your breakfast, your brunch, whatever. Like I said, we're diving into Mox and Jericho. And then we got the new segment, Nick's Piss Match of the Week. And Seth Rollins, I've waited a long time to take you on. So folks, enjoy your break. Get what you need. We'll be right back after this quick break. Stay tuned.
the technical alchemist, David Mercury. And I'm bringing a special message to you. Listen in to OTTR, Off the Top Rope Broadcast. Yeah.
Hey, yo, this is your friendly neighborhood Red Dogs here. Eating pizza, no, not from Pizza Hut, not from, any other place, from the Luigi's. That's the place that we going to. That's the place we eating at. See, the camera's not even on me no more. So, as your friendly neighborhood Red Dog and your favorite mercenary, I approve of Seth Pizza.
Beneath the shrine, samurai souls, the circuitry spine, concrete dogs with electric eyes, carve their fate where the silence dies. The blade is beta, the war is come.
After the Rumble, why don't you and I go out?
WWF superstars.
I'm Great Kid here. After I win the Royal Rumble.
Hey, baby, this is old Double J.
Hey, Pamela, what do you say after I win the Royal Rumble? You and Baywatch lady.
Maybe
Can't wait to see you in Tampa. Oh, yeah.
The WWF Royal Rumble, live only on pay-per-view.
Batman's back, I'm the warrior. You know who I am. But rumor has it, you think you got what it takes to be a pro wrestler. Well, now's the best opportunity you'll ever have. Because success in pro wrestling is much more dependent on uniqueness and personality and character. Athletic ability. And desire like a warrior. If you think you got what it takes, call Warrior University.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and up. It looks like Dr. Nick took a minute, and welcome back. So today is very special because this is one of my favorite segments of the show. We break down a match that I enjoy, and I give my thoughts about how it went and going forward and how it impacted things. Today, we're traveling back to right before the pandemic in the Analyze This chamber. Moxley, Jericho, the inaugural AEW champion, defends against the unhinged, the renegade, Jon Moxley. In the months leading up to this, Dynamite had already become established. Eventually, Moxley would earn himself a title shot against the inaugural champion at Revolution. But it all started at Double or Nothing when Moxley arrived to the shock of Jericho after beating Kenny Omega and needing a paradigm shift for his troubles. Eventually, Jericho would try to recruit Moxley into his inner circle jerk with Santana Ortiz, a young Sammy Guevara, and Jake Hager. And for a moment, faked it until Jericho got screwed. And guess what? Hello, Christy, welcome. Eventually, Mox would get stabbed in the eye, but it was all a ruse where eventually Moxley at Revolution would hoist the AEW World Championship in a barn burner and become the second ever All Elite Wrestling champion. He would go on for the rest of the year until he fell to a sniveling, conniving Kenny Omega, who aligned himself with Cyrus the Virus, a.k.a. Don Callis, a.k.a. the cum dumpster fire from hell, a.k.a. the bald motherfucker that finally got the curve line to a circumcised penis-looking head.
I'm sorry, I need a minute. That was good.
This match, to me, I had to pick it because here's the reality. When you go back and look at the story and how they set it up, from the inaugural Double or Nothing pay-per-view, where he comes through the crowd, he hits the ring, he paradigm shifts Jericho, he and Kenny fight on the outside. That leads to the debut on Dynamite, where he and Kenny duke it out again all over the arena, and eventually leads to the lights out match at Full Gear. We get through that. Moxley gets the title shot. Then Jericho tries to recruit him in, teases him with a new car. Eventually, they do the part where Jericho gets bashed with a little bit of the bubbly. And, yep, Stephen Smith, I agree.
I used to have the figure, man. I can't hate a little bit of the bubbly.
Mm-hmm. So then you get where Jericho gets the full team on, spike to the eye. Okay. Then you have the for weeks the eye patch. Then you get to Revolution. And then attempt at the Judas effect misses twice. Jericho gets hit with a paradigm shift. He reveals the patch. His eye's been fine. It was all a ruse. It harkened back to the 80s, proving the old school ways worked. Oh, I didn't hit a little bit of the bubbly. I was just getting to that. You always try to do that, Christy. Jeez. I was getting to that. Damn. You also had the moment, like Christy said, Mox gets even, gets Santana in the eye. You had every old 80s method of the story playing out. It made you go, this still works. Vince had fallen off at that point because we're still trying to shove Roman Reigns down people's throats, like jamming never mind. I'm going to shut up on that one. Just because.
Get him.
Yeah.
We want to keep the show, man. You got to watch what we're saying. We want to keep.
Shit. I've gone far before, but this particular one, I don't think I'm going to go down.
This is the first show back. We can't lose it already. I
don't think we have yet. But here's what I'm saying, if I'm saying anything. This match proved not only did the old school storytelling work, but it set the tone for when the pandemic pretty much killed the world for almost a year. And what happened was Mox took the brunt and carried it through the no audience and then slowly bringing the audience back. Yes, you had the comeuppance where Mox lost to Omega and then I'm going to play this clip because I played it earlier, but then I'll mention what it is and you'll understand what I'm saying. Was known as the barbed wire match the following year, in which Eddie Kingston turned babyface to save Mox from being blown up, only for it to be the biggest fucking dud in barbed wire matches in history. As I like to call it, it was like the loud fart in church. It was like the biggest diarrhea moment in Walmart.
I'm like, what did he say fuck me for?
So overall, to me, it proved that the old way still worked. And it also gave Mox a rebirth to his career. We all know towards the end, the Dean Ambrose character. And it also kind of gave a bit of hope for at some point, maybe with the TNA crossover back then, we could get a reunion of the Switchblades. Also, before we continue and I give you the floor, Nick, I want to take a moment at Emergence this past week after his match with Santana. He kept his word, Sami Callihan. Congrats on a hell of a career. You hung it up the boots. Ain't none but love, baby. We may not have got that reunion, but all I got to say is this.
Yeet. Yeah.
It gave Mox a rebirth to his career. You may disagree with that, but it not only did him being, and I'm not saying that this is, yeah, no shit. Ew, little bit of $500 for the bubbly. Yeah, about that. We're going to talk about that later. And Nick, just to let you know, I think we'll be fine. Christy wanted me to mention this. Let's just say Cora Jade has faced the chair. Yeah, getting your back blown out in OnlyFans was mentioned. I will leave it at that.
Oh, wait till we get to the chair later. I might have some words before you go completely insane. So we'll see how far we can take it.
I've promised you would get that.
Okay.
Before I give you the floor to this, my final point is this. Mox took the ball and ran with it. And for fans, I don't know if they realized it. There is a very specific poster. And it is Tony hinting at his first 4 inaugural champs. Jericho, Mox, Omega, and Hangman.
Should have been Danhausen.
Yeah, okay. Good luck. That would have been funny, but it kind of been intriguing at the same time.
Love like that Danhausen.
Title on Orange Cassidy, with all due respect. So, Nick, I will let you have yours. The floor now becomes yours.
I appreciate that. So going into this match, I noticed, they both look like some beaten dogs. For some reason, I don't remember all the way back in 2020. We obviously went over what happened with Moxley and his eye. But we had Moxley and his eye over there in one corner, and then we had Jericho with this very long, just red line going right down his face. So they just both looked like they were just beaten before they even showed up to the match. It was a very brutal, very, very just nonstop action-y match. The one and only complaint that I have for the whole match, and before people jump down my throats, I'm not one of those WWE marks that are like, AEW overuses blood so much, it's ridiculous. No, I like that shit. I like hardcore wrestling. I like hardcore indie wrestling. So I don't give a fuck about any of that. And this was the early days of AEW too, so it was still kind of a new thing. My complaint is when
Sorry, you need to see this, Nick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Wow. Man. Well, so I like that kind of stuff. My only complaint was physics and how like gravity works, because I saw Moxley get slammed through a table, landing back of head first onto a bell, and they were trying to sell that he's bleeding from why, if he's bleeding from the back of the head and he's laying back on the ground, why is the blood over here? Why is it like all over here?
We call that who booked this shit.
Also, I know my takes are crazy, but at least I come prepared. As for what you said near the end of that was Mox needed this to revitalize his career. I 100% agree. He wasn't happy in WWE. He was floundering around. I feel like he's way more happier. He's way higher on the totem pole, even though the Shield was great and he was a top champion at one point, and he was a big draw when he was doing his goofy stuff backstage, especially with the U.S. Championship. But he needed a fresh start. He needed to be somewhere where he was authentically himself. I will say selfishly, it broke my heart a little bit when I was at WrestleMania 40 and we heard the Shield music and everyone was shitting themselves thinking that it was Jon Moxley, and it wasn't. It was Seth. And Seth, honestly, it was so. I'm sorry to bring up WrestleMania to run a tangent, but just the feeling in the crowd of when we thought it was Jon Moxley. By the time Seth ran in and got his ass handed to him and thrown out, we didn't even see him come in. we didn't. Me and the people around me didn't even see him come in.
But that was the point. It was played off perfectly, and I thought it was funny that Mox is over in Japan and he gets wind of it and is like,
"Yeah,
what the fuck? I didn't even know that was going on." So, to your point, I concur. Now, before we get out of here to get to our new segment, my good friend, I will say to me personally, for everything that they put him through, you know, the lackluster world title, even though they gave him his moment in Vegas for Money in the Bank. Appreciate that. Walt Disney off of Temu, the Mexican Telemundo porn star with the mustache, Vince McMahon. I got one thing to say.
You ain't shit.
Wait a minute. I want to say that one more time because it feels so natural.
You ain't shit.
So I need to close this because if I don't, I'm going to regret it. But now, folks, and I will be right back for our main event of the night, but I am about to give to you the newest segment to the Asylum. And our new co-host is going to dive into it, and then I'm going to give my take. I need to get a little bit of water. So, Nick, allow me to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, the newest segment to join the Asylum, Dr. Nick's Piss Match of the Week. Take it away. Go ahead, Nick. The floor is yours.
All right. It's time. It's time. I've been ready for this. I will say this has been a really odd week in wrestling. There was a lot of decent choices that we could have made. I was stuck between two matches. The one that I didn't end up going with, I will mention just for the people that are curious. The Miz's tag team match with Carmelo Hayes. The only reason why I got saved, in my opinion, was because of the Wyatt Six. I know they're not really doing great right now, but something about the Wyatt Six just does something to me. So it pushed it over the edge to where the piss match of the week is Alexa Bliss versus Piper Niven. And to say that really hurts me. It really does hurt me because I love both of them. Piper Niven is fantastic in the ring. And do I really have to say anything about Alexa Bliss? Do I really? Multiple-time champion. And let's never forget the man himself, Bray Wyatt. I will never forget him. The amazing stuff that she did with Bray Wyatt. So it really pains me to put that in the spot, but the match itself did nothing for me. The roll-up did nothing for me. As much as I love Chelsea Green being Chelsea Green on the outside, as much as I love this presidential, Secret Service-y kind of gimmick, it just didn't do much for me as a match. I'm not even going to get into Charlotte because you'll see moving forward. And you know what? It's my first day back. And it's my segment. So you know what? I'll drop the bomb that will probably follow me for every other show moving forward. Don't worry, I won't bring her up as much, but I want it to be known that I am the number one, and I will battle with anyone in the pod mob over this because maybe there's someone that thinks they're a bigger hater than me. No, I am the number one Charlotte Flair hater. I don't give a fuck about that Nepo baby. So anytime I see that fucking surgically made face, I instantly want to turn off the television. They earned that piss match because the match itself wasn't good, but they cemented it as the piss match by even having Charlotte show up to the side of that ring and let alone go in there with their fucking gross ass bare feet where people have to land their backs and their faces and their heads on. Get that bitch the fuck out of here. Out of here. And I don't reckon, and you know what? Because I'm the number one Charlotte hater, and I know that's not the point of this, but I want to make it known. I do not recognize, I don't give a fuck if WWE recognizes it or not. I don't recognize her week or two title reigns. They're fluffing up her numbers. She is not the best women's champion of the world. Hell no. No. Sorry. Went off the handle there. World's number one Charlotte hater. Don't forget. But yeah, in short, to calm it down a little bit, as much as it pains me, Alexa versus Piper is the piss match of the week.
And you heard it from the man, ladies and gentlemen. Damn! Let me reiterate that. Damn! Nick, I will warn you. I told you before we got into this. Straight up, this show has been so controversial. I think we'll be fine. Oh God, not Mr. Lotion. If you know, you know.
Oh man,
popcorn going off is allowed in this place. All right, so for your pick for the piss match of the week, great choice, great decision. However, I get it. This is the thing I will say in defense of Charlotte.
Please do.
Think about Reed. Think about that. Hang on. Watch Unreal and how that still affects her.
Oh, I watched it, and I before we even get into that, I fucking hate Unreal. I've had this discussion with you behind the scenes.
There is going to be an episode not too far from now, not next week, but real soon, because I still have a few episodes left to watch, where the main topic of discussion, and the boss is hearing this for the first time, is going to be about this.
About the Unreal?
Yeah, that will be the main topic.
Not
that
to throw
the main topic of the day that we are going to go into, because I also have some things that I want to say. But before I do, you know me, in the short time we've been talking, I like to do my research and be ready to go.
Of course, you're an encyclopedia of wrestling.
To me, Unreal did stupid damage. Yes, Stephen A. Smith. Yes, we agree with you. I mean, and they snitching. Okay.
When we do get to that point, whether it's in a couple weeks or whatever, not to put business stuff out there, but I feel like the segment itself should be called "The Killing of Kayfabe."
Or Kayfabe the HJ.
I've got the T and you have the A.
I had to play that part just because we got tits and ass right now. Anyway, so here's what I'm going to say. With being the elite, the Bucks to a degree did that, but it was with comedy and a look of here's a little sneaky peek, but they kept kayfabe to a degree alive. WWE has just shit the bed and let it all out. Christy nails it. Christy nails it on that.
I agree. Piper and Alba deserve better. They do.
Okay. So, to conclude the piss match of the week, I will say this. To me personally, Charlotte, I know everybody shits on her, but you got to give the girl credit. She's taken no favors from her dad. Something that originally she wanted to do with her brother and eventually losing him. I'm going to be honest.
What do you mean no favors from her dad? Her using his name is a favor.
It's not really a favor, because there was a time where, and this is on the Rise of NXT DVD, she almost changed her last name and she got stopped.
If she did, I maybe would have respected her more. But the fact that I've seen her on multiple occasions say, "I'm a Flair, give me a title shot."
She's played that role as the heel quite well.
Still hate it.
That's the point.
Doesn't mean I agree with her getting title shots out of nowhere.
No, I don't disagree with you on that. My point is, for a girl that wanted to do it with her brother, only for her brother to die, and to take that dream, oh my.
Nah, I want Alexa, brother.
Good luck with that. She married, have a baby. What's wrong with you?
I know. And not that I don't like thick women, to be clear.
Yeah, we ain't saying nothing wrong with that.
With both hands, Anna.
But, you know, before I even say this, I want to make this clear that this is a terrible, terrible comparison, but I'm going to make it anyway, just for the ha-ha-hee-hees of it. Saying that about Reed Flair is like, I could say the same thing of like, oh yeah, well, you know, Chris Benoit's son, you know, he lost his brother too. He lost his brother too. So
about this. So yes.
So should he get a title match right now? Because like his last name's Benoit and he lost his brother. Like,
where I'm coming from. You get where I come.
I'm just a ball buster. You know how it is.
Yeah, I know. And for that, I gotta say this.
Got your ass.
Oh no!
Everybody that knows me knows who I want.
Now I'm scared. Who do you want?
I want me some Bailey. Holla at your boy. Holla at your boy. And I'll leave it at that. Can't have AJ Lee because, well, she married.
Good luck with that.
Yeah,
you have a better chance at CM Punk.
Yeah. So now comes the main event of the evening. You know, I've had many people face my wrath over the last 3 years. But I have waited a long time. Before I give you the stage, Nick, I'm just going to give the people a taste of what's coming.
Please, I want to hear it.
Gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's my moment of zen. The electric chair, Seth Rollins, young punk bitch ass, belongs to me. Seth. The deceiver. The fake Aerosmith haired looking wannabe Steve Tyler. Where do I begin with you? You have this big personal vendetta, and look at these three men behind you. Paul Heyman looking like a fat walrus, cookie puss, who can't find his dick without a magnifying glass. Bronson Reed, same situation. You faked a full injury against LA Knight, who still made you his bitch. And you deceived the fans for weeks only to fuck this man over because you're still butt anal hurt about how he left and what he had to say. Instead of being a man and growing a set, calling him out and say, hey, let's talk, you're anal hurt. Then you show up on crutches, reveal the ruse, and screw us in the ass with no lube, mind you, you piece of shit rat bastard. Out of enjoying a full moment, only to regain the belt that you lost, and then Drew McIntyre lost in 5 minutes, and the two of you are still anal hurt. Look at this. You look like the modern day Freddie Mercury, except without the talent. Because Freddie Mercury was a motherfucking genius. I mean, look at you. You look like the 80s vomited. Okay? The real 80s called. They want you back. And then you steal Paul Heyman. And you've tainted Braun Breaker, who I hope is the one who eventually betrays you and makes you his bitch. Bronson Reed looks like... That's just a sliver. Nick, I'm going to let you have it because I got more to say, but take it away, brother.
I appreciate you, man. First and foremost, we are going to get to Seth Rollins. I do want to say I used to be a pretty big fan, as you can see by my figure here, also next to my man Phil Brooks. But that's actually a good point that he's right here, because that's going to lead me to my next topic that does have to do with Seth Rollins. I want to be clear with y'all. I am a huge, 100% huge Paul Heyman guy. I've always been a Paul Heyman guy. even when I wasn't a Roman fan, and I'm still not a Roman fan, even during the whole 4 years where Paul Heyman was with Roman, I got this shirt specifically. This was the first shirt that I was on the hunt for when I went to WrestleMania 40 because I knew I needed a Paul Heyman shirt. That's how much I love that man. For the last 5 years of the iterations of WWE 2K, I have made a crazed out Paul Heyman character with a 99 overall and the most cracked out moveset in the world. So don't anyone deny how much I love Paul Heyman. But with Paul Heyman, I really have to question the decision making that he's had recently because, again, my boy Punk, you chose over the best in the world, CM Punk. You chose, as much as I hate to admit it, you chose over one of the most dominant and undisputed champions of our modern era for a man. Not even for Braun Breaker, who is a fucking animal, mind you. Not even for Braun Breaker. You chose Seth No Knees Rollins. Seth, I can't fucking hit a pedigree anymore. Rollins.
Hang on, Nick. We got something we gotta say about that.
Oh yeah, like a pony. I'm a pony. I'm a pony.
We needed that. I needed that de-escalation because every time I think about it, every time I think about Paul Heyman doing this to my boy, I almost lose it. Every time.
Wait, what did he say fuck me for?
Oh, there's many reasons. I was upset when Seth cashed in, but I saw it coming. And I'm sure that this is the reaction that they wanted for both instances. But for Paul to do that to my boy, Philip C. Montgomery Punk Brooks.
Okay, that's a nickname, but okay then.
It hurt me to a personal level because it's like my two favorites in this world are fighting. It's like watching my parents fight. I hate it. I hate it. And you know what? I'll give all the respect in the world to Seth. I was a fan of his for a time, you know, during the whole Beast Slayer era, you know, when he beat Brock. That was all great. But I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. Give me the CM Punk world title now. That's it for me before I have an aneurysm.
Okay, we want to make sure that doesn't happen. You know, I mean, I'm a little disappointed we didn't go worse, but screw it. Before we go any further, I got something to say about this whole Oracle bullshit and all that. CM Punk, this one's for you.
They are trash! Horrible!
I don't think they heard us in the back.
They are trash! Horrible!
To me personally, my opinion is twofold. One is the mere fact that we are doing oh shit. Yeah, I know why.
Oh yeah, why?
If you're seeing this,
what are they, Seth Rollins enjoyers?
You got quite a couple of them.
Ugh. Gross.
Ouch. Ouch. Ladies, you've just had shots fired at you.
Oh, well, does it... Would you like me better if I start going and dancing? I could do that.
Not at this time. We will have that discussion for a different moment.
Most definitely. But hey, hold on a second. Let's be clear. I showed a Seth Rollins Elton John figure. You don't think I enjoy Seth Rollins? I just don't like what he's doing now, and I don't like how he took my man Paul Heyman from Punk. That's all.
I'm going to be honest with you. To me personally, Oh, yeah. I'm going to plead the fifth on that. To me personally, this shit look out with it, my poop. The patriarchy story in AEW was better than this bullshit. Especially given them, hey, Mama Wayne. But I digress. Looking like a MILF off of, never mind. My point to everybody is simple. Seth Rollins, you are so butthurt with no lube, it's not even funny. You make me sit here and ask myself, why in the blue hell am I watching this? I mean, the fact that you have... there are times where I feel like your wife is much more entertaining than you. Your wife is a better performer than you. Your wife has more talent in her little left butt cheek than you. And that's saying a lot. I personally think that somewhere, somehow along the road, you forgot who you are, and rather than get over the bullshit when Punk left and ran his mouth, yep, you are blurring the lines of reality, all because your anal hurt because somebody you looked up to and trained with and he talked shit about the company and I felt personally attacked and I did it and then shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? You're acting like a perpetual child who didn't have his way. And now the motherfucker who ran his mouth is putting you in your place and putting you on game. And you don't like that. So what'd you do? You faked the biggest entry, fucked us over. Now, normally, this would be the part of the show where I flip the switch. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do that. We're going to save that. But for right now, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to flip a different switch where we just shit on your face. Welcome to the German Scheisse video of the Moment of Zen. Instead, we gave you a big fucking swirly, and that's from the heart. But folks, we have reached the end of another episode, episode 2 of season 7. Allow me to say it is a pleasure to be working with you, Nick. I look forward to many more.
I agree.
Welcome addition here. You have a place here. The chemistry is there. Now,
I appreciate that.
Next week, Nick.
Yep.
We will have your piss match of the week. But who? No. I have a what if in the back of my mind. A what if that I've always been curious to dive into. And you're hearing it here first, folks. We're going to go to 2003. What if Goldberg wasn't the only one that arrived? What if at Survivor Series that year, when Kane went to attack Undertaker. Undertaker's WCW counterpart showed up. How would that have impacted TNA? Would we have gotten the Joker character? I'm talking about Sting in 2003, joining WWE instead of TNA. How would it have played out? And what if we would have finally gotten the one dream match every fan of the Attitude Era salivated for? Undertaker, Kross, Sting. We're going to dive into that one next week. But for now, Nick, tell the good people at home how to find you and follow you on social media. Take it away.
Oh, hello, y'all. For the last bit of my segment, you can find me on Twitch at Nick Nekro, NickNekro, but the O is a 0 at the end. That you can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Instagram. I don't use X or Twitter or whatever the hell y'all want to call it. I call it Twitter personally. I don't use that shit anyway. I appreciate everyone at the Pod Mob for welcoming me back with open arms. I want to say thank you to the amazing host for welcoming me into the show. I look forward to the chemistry that we're going to have moving forward with the new discussions that we've been talking. We've been talking a lot the last couple of days, just bouncing off ideas, and we have a lot of crazy things in plan down the pipeline for you folks, and I'm sure you're going to love it. And I may have had some hot takes. I know that some of the Blackheart Angels might not like me right now, but I promise you I'm a nice guy, and I'm sure that there's some wrestling takes that you might agree with. And with that, I want to say thank you to everyone that was watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will definitely be back soon. I'm going to send it back over to Mr. J.
Thank you, Dr. Nick. I'm glad you know how to find me. Eric37 Joker. Put the 0 where the O would be. That's on all the socials. You know how to find me. I'm always creating the anarchy and chaos that pro wrestling still needs and still enjoys too, by the way. But folks, before I get out of here, tune in next week. What's Nick's piss match of the week going to be? Who's going to face my wrath? That remains to be seen. But remember, you got to do me and the Hardcore Sports Network that huge favor. Like, share, subscribe, stay notified. Telegram, Baby Mama, Google Plus, your sister's ass, the Pony Express. What can Brown do for you? FedEx me, fuck you, and USPS blow me.
Ooh, damn.
Also, don't forget to check out the link tree to keep up with everything Pod Mob and Hardcore Sports respectfully. And, of course, check out the merch. You know what to do. Show some love to myself, Dr. Nick, and everybody in the Pod Mob. It's good to be back. It's good for a new collaboration. But for now, if I might ever so steal a line, I must bid you all adieu. So goodbye. Wait. I almost forgot something.
Get your heart on, girls. Hands off the merchandise.
We had a big booty host stop by the Asylum today. So with that being said, for myself, for Dr. Nick, you know who I am. This is the Wrestling Asylum live on Hardcore Sports and the OTTR network. Tune in next week. But for now, we must bid you adieu. Goodbye. Have a wonderful Sunday and next week. We'll see you next Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. Oh, and it's almost football season. What the fuck? But I'm looking at the clock, and it's about that time. We're desperately out of time. We got to go. I'll see you all next week. We'll see you then. Till then, so long, farewell. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Nick, what's those 2 words for everybody?
Suck it!
See y'all next week, folks. We're out of here.